How has the idea of Palestine infiltrated the United States? Well, it's happened through a very concerted effort, a very thought out effort. Olivia Reingold from the Free Press infiltrated a Palestine conference outside of Chicago. Let's see what she saw.
I am at the Palestine Convention being held outside of Chicago by American Muslims for Palestine, which is a group currently facing a congressional probe for its alleged ties to Hamas, which really is the elephant in the room here. No one seems to want to talk about Hamas. In fact, most, if not all of what they seem to want to talk about is Israel.
The past 11 months of this genocide has lifted the veils to show you that the Zionist system within the United States, there's a perception of power and then there's real power.
So first thing is, who's lifting the veil on who, right? These are the folks that want to bring veils upon all of us. So it was funny to me that there was this phrase about lifting the veil. And the other thing is that they're always accusing the Jews of sneaking into the United States or controlling it, the Zionist lobby, etc. Here, these guys are doing exactly that. They are sneaking into the United States, as they have snuck into Europe and other places. And of course, the language of what happened October the 7th is not a massacre by Hamas, it's a genocide by Israel. So they're switching the language. Israel has not committed a genocide. It's fought against Hamas fighters with some casualties. But the majority of the people have been killed are Hamas affiliated. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that Israel is the genocider, Palestine is liberation. So that's what they're doing out there in the United States.
Pretty hostile media environment. That's why I'm whispering. I'm also covering my hair because this is a pretty observant crowd. Right now, you're here.
When we say observant, what we mean is in Islam that's tied into Palestinianism, which therefore means it's tied into jihadism, Hamas. It's not tied into liberation ideology. It's tied into submission ideology. They want the they want the Palestinian thing to be used as a way to knock out Israel, to spread their fundamentalist ideas, to put a veil on all of us, and with that, spread it to the campuses, spread it to the prisons, spread it to every corner of the United States and the free world in general.
During the call to prayer,
Olivia themed everything,
watermelon themed everything, and this is really an opportunity for people to get excited about.
So first thing is, if you ever notice the pro-Pali propaganda, it always is the exact map of the state of Israel. It's really an amazing thing. There are 22 Arab countries in this world, over 50 Muslim countries, one Jewish state, and that one Jewish state is erased and replaced by the word Palestine. That's what it's there to do. It's there to erase the history and the narrative of the Jewish people and all the logical underpinnings to Israel and Zionism and the Jewish people. So it wants to undermine archaeology, and it wants to undermine the Bible, and it wants to undermine Jewish history. It wants to undermine the Middle Eastness of the Jewish people. It wants to redraw them as foreigners, white, colonialist, occupiers, apartheidists. And all of Israel is meant to be Palestine. So you understand that this is a very sophisticated propaganda machine, what we call the narrative war. But the thing that really gets my goat is how good they are at merchandising. They're so good at merchandising, and I always feel jealous because I really think that they've got a very clear brand, and they're selling it out there, and they know how to make it sexy, and they know how to make it cool to the young people, and they just get it out in lots of forms, and lots of forms of from a cup to a shirt to a hat to a logo. They have it for you, and that way they make it cool. And that, of course, is one of the great powers of the propagandists, is that they know how to reach the young people. They know how to use the TikTok. They know how to create the swag. And that's the part that we have to be aware of what they're doing. We have to fight it. And we certainly have to have really awesome swag on the other side, which we are lacking.
Because there's programming for kids as young as 3, for teenagers, also for college students. They have what they're calling the campus activism track. There's been a lot of discussion about how to prepare for potential legal consequences, what to do if you are arrested, how you can connect with what's being called the social justice community and adapt the Palestinian narrative to reach new people.
So they're preparing them with the narrative. They're also preparing them with legal consequences of what happens when you are arrested, what are the right words to say. And the key there is the word social justice. You see, progressivism is the first underpinnings, the preparation for Palestinianism and jihadism. What you do is you first send in the progressive idea, which undermines your ethnic rights, your historical rights, your defenses. It undermines all those societal borders. You no longer have a right to put up those borders. You no longer have the right to say, well, this is mine and here's my history. They undermine your statues. They undermine your identity. And then they come with their uber identity. And when you try to block it, they say, "Hey, you know, you're undermining my rights. You're a colonialist and all that kind of stuff." And so this is tied into one another. This is called the Red-Green Alliance, or what I call the Jihad Euro Progressive Alliance or Axis. And that's how they're working it. And this is coming to a neighborhood near you. Okay, in Israel, we face fundamentalist jihadist Islam, coupled with Palestinian nationalism on many different levels. We face also the Europeans who support that, and others. There are American media organizations like the New York Times and CNN. They are on the march. Okay, they're on the march to destroy Israel, or to at least shrink Israel very much, to weaken it. But that impulse, in the end, wants to shrink the United States and the free world as well. Its first manifestation is through, it's ironic, right? Because you would think that these things do not go together, but its first manifestation is through progressivism. Progressivism creeps into jihadism. Remember these words: progressivism creeps into jihadism.
This is a movement that is trying to figure out how they can expand beyond the Arab community.
Read the full story at thefp.com.
All right, great job, FP, that you guys put this out there, infiltrating the Palestine conference that's happening outside of Chicago. We have to understand what's going on here. We have to understand their tools, and they have many tools in their arsenal. One of them is fear, and the other one is cool. They know how to make it cool to the young people, and they know how to merchandise, and they know how to use our tools against us. It's as though there's like two people on a democratic playing field, but one is just using democracy as a kind of judo to undermine that very democracy and those ideals of freedom. So let's watch out for that and not let them take over our countries. Remember that in jihadism, one of the pillars is hijra, which means migration. They want to migrate into other countries, countries of freedom, and undermine them from within, using the very tactics of the nice gifts of democracy as tactics to undermine it. All right, folks, we got to be vigilant out there. We got to do that fight. That fight is not just with guns; it's also with understanding and with our strong identity, rooted in history, rooted in the Bible, rooted in justice, the justice of the Jewish people's return to the land of Israel. They're trying to erase that, and we won't let them. God bless you, folks, wherever you are. Stay strong.